Good morning, Jane.
Good morning.
You're wearing your reindeer top,
Yes, it's my sort of toast of Christmas.
which can mean only one thing.
Yes.
You've done it again.
Yeah, it's
Now,
good.
these are the characters we had on the Christmas sacks last year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're lovely because, I'm going to be completely honest, sometimes Santas are scary.
They can be, can't they?
They can be. And the thought of them coming down your chimney and into your kids' bedrooms, no, just no.
No.
Not the one. But him,
He's a jolly
he looks
Santa.
really happy.
Yeah, he's a jolly little man.
He looks friendly, he looks lovely. Come on in. Have a port.
Yeah.
Nice mince pie. You're very welcome. Got a few carrots. We're all good.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So a lovely wall hanging. What else could we do with it, Jane?
We could put it on the front of your Christmas sack because we did the elf, didn't we, with his parcel last time? So we could put him on there. You can take one character and make him into cushion.
Just look at him. Do you know what? You could pop that in your fireplace.
Yeah. Yeah, you could. Yeah. You could make it bigger. I mean, you can add
You
more
might have
borders.
to have him that way.
Yeah. Okay.
Popping down. But you could definitely do that. Oh, he's rather fabulous. I do like him a lot.
Yeah, and it's not a complicated one. Simple shapes, so we've kept it nice and straightforward.
Applique.
Yeah.
Begin applique.
Yeah, bonded applique, so not difficult.
Because this isn't going to be washed and worn,
No,
and worn, is it?
no.
So it's
Yeah.
good. It's good to go.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what sort of have you put Bonder web in there?
I put the bond web and I put medium weight iron-on interfacing in because I put that on the back before I sew it down. It just
Nice.
prevents
Gives
it
a bit of-
prevents it wrinkling.
Perfect.
So when you sew in the shapes round, it's helpful.
And that's all in the kit.
Yeah.
Now today we have got all sorts of Christmassy goodies, and I know that some of you are going to be bar humbug. It's September, it's too early, and diddle-diddle-diddle, but there are those of you that make and who need Christmas early.
Yeah, you've got to get yourself organised, haven't you? There's not many weeks left, something like 20. Not even that, I don't think.
What?
Yeah, I don't think there is 20 anymore, I think it's less. Which is a bit scary. We're nearly halfway through September already, my
Oh
love.
no, Jane, shush. It'll be half term in a minute.
I know.
They've only been back a week.
It'll go before we know, won't we now? Now we've got to go back to school. I think it goes quite quickly now.
Jane, I'm not quite ready for last Christmas. How can it be this
I've still got
Christmas?
projects I was making for last Christmas that didn't get finished. Which is okay, because Christmas comes every year, so that's fine. You don't
Wait
have
for
to
the next
say
one.
which Christmas it's for.
The other thing is, it's not like Christmas goes out of fashion, is it?
No.
You know, oh no, Father Christmas is so last year. So last year. This is one that you can bring out. Do you have Christmas traditions?
Yeah, we do. We've got lots of them at our house.
Yeah, I think that's the nice thing, isn't it? You have them as a
Yeah.
family, and then when you start your own family, you have your own new Christmas traditions
Yeah.
that you start, and then when you start a new family, you start with
Yeah.
new traditions.
They all blend in, don't they? And you
Yeah.
bring in nice ones and
And one of them has always been our advent calendars.
yeah.
Ever since I was little, my mum did me an advent calendar. It's upstairs. It's a house with for each day it's got a little box,
Oh, how lovely.
and she used to put little treats in the box.
Do you give it to back each year and say, "There you go, Mum, ready for this
I
year"?
did, and then she decided that at 40 I was maybe too old.
You're never too old for an advent calendar.
I might speak to her again one day. But, you know, for now, apparently,
Let it go.
apparently I'm too old.
Never too old.
Exactly. But my kids have. You know how we've done the fabric ones?
Yes.
So they have those. And when Freddie was little and Chocolate did not agree with him, or rather dealing with Freddie after Chocolate
Yes.
was not an agreeable situation. I put little Lego figures and stuff
Yeah, that's
in
nice.
each one.
Yeah.
So he had something different. So it doesn't always have to be that. So lots of different traditions. Quilts that come out of Christmas.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got runners, table runners,
Nice.
placements, things like that. That
Raggy
really is.
quilts. The
Oh,
Christmas
snuggly
movies.
ones.
When
yeah.
Die Hard starts.
Yeah.
Couldn't get less and yet that for me is
It's Christmas.
it's Christmas.
Yeah.
When Die Hard comes out, the raggy quilts come out.
Snuggly. Yeah.
So this year, so each year I will bring in flannels for those winter quilts
Yeah.
because
There's something about a flannel quilt. It's just so snuggly and cosy.
hand warmers,
Neck warmers, yeah.
all that kind of thing out of flannel is just beautiful, and it's cotton.
Yeah.
That's the really beautiful thing about it. It's not a polyester or anything like that. It's proper cotton,
Yeah.
but super snuggly.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we've got various bundles. We've got brand new. We've got Tim Holtz.
Yeah, I've seen this. This is
It's very grown up,
yes,
brushed cotton.
but it's also not essentially Christmas. It could just be
Apart
wintry.
Apart from the poinsettia,
Yeah,
I would say yes.
yeah, it's a lovely
Yes.
collection.
So, should we have a look at all the Christmas fabrics we have got for you today? And we've got bolt ends galore, actually, as well. So, where to start, Jen? Where to start? These are leftover half meters that you found just mooching around on the shelves.
I think
when
they slipped down between the bolts. When you said, can we just bolt in those last little bits? When we pulled the bolts out, they were there. So I think they'd slipped in between and
Do
nobody
you know what
had
that
noticed.
reminds me of? We bought the chickens a big bale of straw the other day. And we stuck little mealworms, little pockets of mealworms in between the slices of straw. It's a bit like that, isn't it? You get a little treat
Yeah,
in
little,
between the
little
bolts
treasure
of
found
fabric.
between. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not likening these to worms, but you know what I mean. Robert Kaufman, Holiday Flourish. This flew out the door, Jane.
Yeah, that's why it was such a surprise to find it. I was like, why is that still there?
I don't know, but it's got your poinsettia. It is
Isn't it
very, very
pretty?
beautiful with the gold highlighting. I've got 1/2 metre left. Even the salvage is gorgeous.
You just need to sort of
Get it?
make that
Oh,
into
anything.
napkins or something. I don't know. It's
Beautiful.
just beautiful in Christmas table.
Well, you did it in a runner, didn't you?
Yes.
And then we highlighted those in the runner.
Yeah.
Autumny, you got the cones with the gold. I
Yeah.
love this fabric.
It's really lovely. It's a
Really,
really
really
nice
pretty.
fabric, and it's very versatile.
1/2 metre left of it. And then the pumpkins again with the gold edging, all rather gorgeous. 1/2 metre left of that. Now we have got, this is your Macawa Enchanted Celestial Green, 2.85 metres. Why are we doing big chunks like this? Because sometimes you want napkins, you want table coverings, you want a big chunk.
Yeah.
And this has got your gold in here, and it's the last of it. There wasn't enough of these to make a show. So they are bolt-ended for you. Maybe it's going to back a Christmas quilt. Maybe it's going to back your advent calendars. Maybe it's going to sash your advent calendar. I don't know, Jane.
Yeah, there's lots of things you could do with it. You could just chop it into a square and make it into a cushion.
Doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. You could make... You're going to have to bear with me today. I have no words
You've
because
had no sleep.
I've had no sleep. Ruben had a poorly tummy in the night, so I've been up every hour on the hour with him.
Caught the bug.
I know. And then I've had to hose down the entire backyard.
Not a pleasant
It's
job.
not been lovely. Stockings.
Stockings.
There it
yes.
is.
There's
Found
the
it. Found the word, Jane.
There's
Found
the
the word.
word.
So you could have a different coloured stocking. Do you still have stockings?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Don't believe you don't receive.
This is the other one.
Oh yeah.
That's a big chunk of that one. That's lovely. This is Macawa, but when Izzy was, she said, "Oh, the Kaufman here," and I said, "Yeah, fooled you, Izzy. It's Macawa."
It feels like it should be Kaufman, doesn't it?
Should be, yeah.
And yet, because of the detailing, because of the colour, because of the highlighting, these are from the same collection. They're just the last of the bolts.
Beautiful
There they are.
table runners, quilt backs. I mean, this, it's more like a mandala than a snowflake, so that would work any time of the year for
Yeah,
a
of
quilt
course it
pack. It's really
Gorgeous.
rich and beautiful.
Absolutely gorgeous. Merry Menagerie.
Menagerie.
Thank you, Jane. Thank you. This is Emily's favourite.
It'd make beautiful Christmas stockings.
Would, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely, it would. Macawa Christmas Brights.
Beautiful.
And to go with...
Some reindeer.
the reindeer. And then
And again, this is not
All the
Christmas
colours.
necessarily, is it? That's stars.
all your stars.
It's beautiful.
It
And I
is
love this
really,
little
really
bit of
lovely.
turquoise in there because it gives it that modern twist.
We've
This,
got
I
some-
love those snowmen.
Doesn't that look nice
It does,
together?
yeah.
So, and then we've got snowflakes. Did this go in a... I want to
We
say-
used it in the block of the month last year when we did the calendar quilt. It was on the January block.
it's really, really hard to see. You'll probably get a better image actually online, but because it's white on white. We very rarely stock white on white because it's an absolute...
You can't see it, can you,
It's
on
a
screen?
monkey to see on screen, so we don't normally. And yet, any fabric store where people have to physically go in will tell you that this will be one of their best sellers.
Yeah.
It's funny, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful tone-on-tone white snowflakes on there, and then it's got like, they're not silver metallic, but they're silver grey stars
This
highlighting.
would be the top of my stockings.
Yeah, that would look lovely.
Lovely. And then for some reason, a big old chunk of Brandon Mabley's Reflections. If you are doing a boy quilt, that's really sexy.
I was
It
thinking
sounds
that,
like that,
yeah, it's nearly 4 metres there, and that is a great quilt back.
yeah.
And at bolt end prices, it's too good to miss.
Ridiculous. Right.
Too good to miss.
Don't know quite how that ended up as a bolt end, but there we go. This is the Lewis and Irene collection. This is your New Forest Christmas. Now we've only got 4 of these bundles left.
Because Robin's upside down.
Oh,
Sorry,
no.
not being, not OCD at all.
No. No, not at all, Jane. Not at all. Let me move all these out of the way. Do you know what? We should have said hello to everybody. How very rude. That's me. Sorry, got overexcited. Right. I think we've got 4 more of these bundles and then it's done.
Yeah, I mean, we've still got some of them available, cut to order, but
Oh, have we?
the full collection bundle, I think there's only 4 available,
Okay.
which would make your rag quilt
My rag quilt.
beautifully.
It would, and it's beautiful for that kind of thing. And again, it's a winter quilt rather than a specific Christmas quilt. There's no
Yes.
Father Christmas or
No,
anything
so-
in there.
And as we know, the robins are around all year, so
They are around. Cute. I've got one in my yard.
yeah, my mum has 2. She has, because she's got a house like your size house, so she's got one at one side and one at the other.
How gorgeous are they? And they just feel so snuggly. To have the bumbleberries in a brushed cotton.
It's so soft and snuggly.
What you have left over, fill with rice, fill with cherry stones, and have as hand warmers.
Yeah, nice.
Or you could do some really beautiful, fluffy infinity scarves. Could you imagine having an infinity scarf out of those 3?
Oh, they'd be beautiful, wouldn't
Wouldn't
they?
it be lovely? And it would be warm and cosy. When you'll know when it starts to get cold because I will always have a scarf on. You know I always have a scarf on. It's far too many accidents involving my neck, and it just means that for me, keeping my neck warm is kind of vital. So yeah, this would be something that I would love, and because it's cotton and not polyester, it will breathe.
Yes.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and it, you know, it's a nice, and
So you could have all of that. There's a massive discount on it. It's like £10
you know how
saving or something.
your
on that.
friend used to, in the summer, put her infinity scarf in the freezer.
Jane, come on, we all did.
Yeah.
In the
well,
end.
this, you know, you stick it on your radiator, don't you? And then it's there and warm and snuggly.
Oh, yes. Yes, yes. Now, Jane, you made me buy this.
I did. Because it's so cute.
What is it?
It's what's it called? It's like, it's not canvas, but it's
Does
cotton.
it begin with a P?
Yeah.
It's not a poplin.
No.
It's
Does it
not.
say on it?
Come on, what is it? I thought I might be able to get around it.
Gemma will tell us.
Panama.
Panama.
Pure cotton Panama. This is perfect for bags, sacks, anything like that. Your Christmas
Yeah.
sacks done.
Napkins as well, I was thinking, because it's quite, it's that little bit, and it's soft.
It's soft, but it's textured.
Yeah, it's lovely. It's got a lovely softness to
So you've
it.
got your Santas and you've got your
Almost like brushed, but not, because it's not brushed cotton.
No.
But it's got that sort of softness
that
to it.
could. Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, when our man came, these were the ones that you picked out and went,
Yeah, I was
please
like,
can we have
this
these? And I think you're right, I think they're lovely. Actually, they look rather fabulous as a duo.
They
'Cause
do. Yeah,
just-
similar.
I'd be making bottle bags out of them, gift bags.
Oh yes, that's a good idea.
Yes, and
And
yes.
our two from two. No, I can't say it. Blah, blah. Rewind. Four from two fat quarters.
Yes.
Gift bags.
Now, if you want non-traditional, I feel like we've got all the options on the show today. I love these.
This has got such a vintage vibe to it. It's just beautiful.
Now, if you're going to do 4 from 2, this is it for me, because how beautiful. You've got joy written on this. It's really painty and very lovely.
I sort of want to have a Christmas dress out of this.
Do you? I can see why. I can see why.
I think it's really cute.
It's, I feel like a 1950s kind of vibe to it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why.
Yeah, it does to me too.
But it just...
I think, you know, it's the bauble shapes and everything, isn't it? It's got a very...
If you're someone that doesn't want overtly Christmas, if you're happy to have that,
well, some houses don't work with the traditional red, white and green, do they?
We have lots of pink and teal baubles on our Christmas tree.
Yeah, because that works better with your decor.
So this, lovely.
It's gorgeous.
Lovely, Jane, lovely. And there is a big old chunk off this bundle.
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
Nice
yeah.
discount.
It was done as a Friday deal, and Gemma's just kept that pricing on it for today. There's just something about it that just
I
really
just love gingham.
fills me with joy.
Yeah, it does.
It's that.
It's a happy fabric.
Yeah. What a beautiful bundle. Now, something a little bit groaded up, Jane.
Groaded up.
Groaded up. I want all the pyjamas out of this brush cotton. This is your Tim Holtz.
Izzy and Kirsty were debating whether it would make nice pyjamas. I think it would.
Yes, is the unadulterated yes. So this is from the Eclectic Elements collection from Tim Holtz. Now, I'm wondering if I think these have been digitally printed. I think Tim Holtz is now exclusively digitally printed. I don't
is it?
think.
Smart.
Yeah.
Just so
So
lovely.
it comes in at a higher price point, A, because it's brushed, and B, because it's digitally printed. But what an absolute treat. Boy Makes. This was why I got it in, because we've got all the pinks and all the, all the girly stuff. We've got all of that. But actually, you could do some fabulous laptop cases, things like
that's
that.
True,
because that would clean the inside.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then you could do your glasses cases, you could do cork on the outside, this on the inside, beautiful.
Yeah.
Bosh done. And then you've got all your different types of trees.
Well, that's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah.
Light stamps and all the fir cones and
Tim Holtz is very good at doing that.
Yes.
That botanical kind of thing going on. So we like that. We like that very much. This is going to do horrible things on your screen, and I can only apologise, but I'm sorry, not sorry, because we need a good stripe.
Yeah. Isn't it called candy or something like that? Confection of flannel. Confections. Because it's like
the candy stripe.
Candy canes.
Yeah. And then you see, Jane.
And that is just a classic
Can't go wrong.
dog tooth gingham type.
Yeah.
And again, that's going to set your eyes funny on screen.
On screen, I can only apologise, but if you would like these, did Gemma do a bundle in the end?
I think she did.
Did she?
But again, this would look lovely in an infinity scarf,
Well,
wouldn't it?
Wouldn't it? That's the thing, isn't it? So it's. I mean,
I liked the snowmen and the Santa fabric. Looks really nice with that. I don't know where they've gone, those half-metre pieces. Oh, they're there, look. Just, they're similar colour tones, and they just look really cool with it. It just looks really...
And yet it wasn't bought with that in
No,
mind,
it
because it came
wasn't.
from completely different suppliers. And yet you're right, how lovely is that?
You could make your stocking out of that with that on the, lining and just showing over the top. Beautiful. It's just gorgeous, and it's so tactile because it's so fluffy.
Make to sell.
Yeah, absolutely, they'd fly.
Just make to sell. Be absolutely brilliant. I've got lots of sort of flannelly type ideas. Last one, Jane, in terms of Christmas fabrics. Again, we had this as a collection. Oh, we haven't really done a lot of Christmas makes yet, so we will keep flashing these things at you. But this is, see, Gemma always has blue on her tree, doesn't she?
Yeah. It's
Lewis
got sort
and
of
Irene.
a Scandi feel to it, which is
has.
rather lovely. I love that snowflake.
I'm not sure if we've done this as a fat quarter bundle. I feel like we should. If we haven't.
It's beautiful.
But how beautiful is that?
It's gorgeous.
Really, really, really lovely.
Nice soft blue as well, not, you know, very soft. Beautiful cottons. Lewis and Irene classic prints. It's very nice.
Can't go wrong, can you?
No. What more could you
Absolutely
ask for?
Cannot go wrong. Right, let's put those away, Jane, because you have got, I'm going to say, a mega demo to do.
Well, I'm not going to make it too much. But yeah, we're going to go through the basics of bonded applique, and then I'll talk to you about how I finished my hanging off and how I finished my cushions off. And of course, we've got all the cushions with flare finishing instructions, haven't we?
Yes,
I think
cushion
I've just
finishing
said
with
that
flare.
all the wrong way round. All the right words, but not necessarily in the right order.
You know what you mean, Jane. You know what you mean. Yeah, Jane. Those flannels,
Yeah, they'd work
the
beautifully with those, wouldn't they?
Because they'd just clean it.
Yeah.
Now, we put velvet in these yesterday, but if you aren't someone that likes velvet, because there's always going to be that person that goes, don't like velvet,
No, there's some people that don't like the feel of it,
don't
don't
like it. That's
sensory
okay.
thing. But you'll love these. These will work just as nicely.
Won't they? Without the nap of the velvet.
Yeah.
Or the worry of that, and just, you know, it's a safer bet for those of you that it fit on in the first place. It all fit. To
It
begin
all
with.
fitted. It's like a jigsaw
It did.
puzzle.
Right, I'm going to leave you to do your thing. I'm not leaving.
No.
No, I'm going to just go and sit
No,
over there
please
on the
don't
squeaky
leave me.
chair and probably, you know, damage my microphone again because when I sit down,
Don't switch it
I
off.
tend to like change channels or something.
So we've given you quite a nice bundle of fabric here.
Quite nice. It's a very nice.
A very nice bundle. As quantity-wise, it's a generous bundle
Oh, okay.
because I've got my wall hanging. I used a different backing because I just used. I got a piece of cave that fitted perfectly on the back of it.
Of course you did,
It's
Jane.
extreme.
Of course you did.
But then the cushion, you see, I've used the remnants to do the backing on that. So you can see there's quite a lot of...
Get yourself some of the bolt ends.
Yeah.
It's that, isn't it? And then you've got everything that you need.
Yeah. And then I'm going to demonstrate the reindeer today for the technique and everything. So you've got, in your bundle, you will have a 1/2 metre of the medium weight iron-on interfacing, which, as I say, I just put on the back of mine to stabilise it before I sew the shapes down.
Okay, perfect.
Just prevents puckering and things like that. It just gives a little bit of stability to it.
Cynthia, you know, lovely Cynthia. Glam
Ohio Cynthia,
Ohio
gorgeous,
Glam
glamorous
Cynthia.
Cynthia,
Yeah. It says it's not too early for Christmas projects. She started in July. So maybe, just maybe, she can get finished for Christmas this year.
Yes.
Yes.
We've got some 1/2 metre of Bonder web. I like to use Bonder web, but we've got steamer seam and fuser web and all of that. They all work equally as well.
We've got fuser web, steamer seam. You have to steam that to permanently adhere it. But actually it's quite nice for applique because you can use it to position and you can reposition.
Yeah, before you actually make your final decision.
Yeah.
So we've got those two come with your kit. You've then got a 1/2 metre of this beautiful blue, which is our candy blue, which I've used for the background
Do you
of
want to
mine.
see this overhead? Would that help?
Yeah.
There you go.
And this is
I
a little
love
bit.
a candy stripe.
This is a bit of the Macawa stripe, and it's got the colours in, but it's also got that little bit of blue. There is a little bit of joined up thinking here that
well
matches
done,
that. Long quarter of that. I used it for my binding. You can add it in as borders. You can do what you like with it at the end of the day. We'll talk about, you know, different types of finishing. This is the copen, which is the border. Now on mine I use navy, but navy is currently out of stock, so we've put copen in the kits because we have stock of that.
Yeah.
And it doesn't detract at all from the finished effect. Then you've got 3 fat quarters of the Macawa And I can't remember what this collection's called, and I'm just hoping there's something on the salvage to give me a clue. Look, no, nothing.
No,
And
they
it's
don't
not
like to
Macawa,
tell
it's
you,
Lewis
do
and
they?
Irene. It's Lewis and Irene, and I think it's O Christmas Tree. No, there'd be nothing, no clues on this, because that would be helpful. Yeah, no, I'm sure it's O Christmas Tree, and it's
Okay.
Lewis and Irene.
Okay.
And we've got fat quarters. So you've got the deep green with all the little icons on Father Christmas's face, little Christmas tree, stockings, teddy bears. Then you've got the Christmas tree, and that's a slightly paler green. And then there's and this is a lovely jolly Santa's face as well. He's not scary. And
Yes,
and that's
oh,
got
Christmas tree, says
yeah,
Gemma.
and it's got touches of metallic on it.
There's somebody else.
And then we've got fat eighths of the following. We've got black, these are our plains. We've got black, chocolate, biscuit. This is nude. Then we've got light
But Father
pink.
Christmas not nude.
Not nude.
No, he's not nude.
Light pink, which I've used for the Father Christmas faces and the reindeer's inner ear. So, you know, fat eighth is a very generous piece. So you'll be able to do more than just the one applique. You'll have plenty to do several, which, as I said, I've managed to get 2 and still have leftovers. White, red, and green. And I think that's the emerald green. So it's a nice, jolly, Christmassy green.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that is. Yes.
So that's your kit. That's everything you get in your kit. And then, of course, you've got your instructions, and your instructions will have all the templates on. Now, these are my templates, which I've done on A3 pieces of paper, but we've broken them down and put them onto A4 so that they can come as a digital as well as a printed version. So for those of you that are not in the UK, you can get the digital version of the pattern. So that's your kit. I think Gemma's done a little bit of a discount on that as well, hasn't she? Make it straightforward. So in your kit, in your pattern, this main picture, which I've used for my base of my wall hanging, it'll come in 2 A4 pieces with a dashed line that you just join it together at the dash line. And it just a little bit of Santa's glove that's overlaps, which is why it works really well as making it 2 individual cushions or just a hang. You know, you could make a quilt with having them as blocks. You could do one Santa in the middle, and you could do several reindeer, because he had more than just Rudolph, didn't he? So
He did have more.
You could make those, and you could have them in different corners and have them around him with borders. You know, you've got plenty of scope and imagination. And then in your kit, in the pattern rather, not in the kit, in the pattern, and these will be on A4 pieces of paper, you've got all the components that make up the main picture. And I've done them in reverse so that if you're using bond web or a paper backed adhesive, they're in reverse so that you do that on the reverse of your fabric, and then when you come to put them on, they're on the right way round.
Hooray.
You'll see on these, they've got little dashed lines.
Yeah, what did they mean,
And
Jane?
that's just where the pieces overlap each other.
Okay.
And it's only a guide for you, and once you've taken your paper backing off, you'll lose that, but you could always put that on and just poke through with your marker pen or a bit of chalk, just so that you've got the positioning. But you've got plenty of scope to manoeuvre it and put it round. Now, what I did find on mine, I've done that, but the red does show through underneath. You can get past that by doubling up, or you could use some of the iron-on interfacing on underneath your white just to make it a bit thicker so they don't show through. Or you can cut your pieces so they just butt up together, whichever you prefer. But I like having that little bit of overlap so that it doesn't give it a 3D effect, but I feel it does. They're like layered up, so they've got more, they're not so flat.
Bit of texture and dimension.
Dimension to them.
Nikki said, I was just looking at the Facebook messages, she said today, she ordered today's make, she just got the elf out, so we'll be mixing and matching.
Yeah.
And that's the beautiful thing, they've got that, because Jane has hand-drawn these herself.
Yeah.
And you're very clever.
Well,
Did you always know you were like arty?
I like drawing, whether I'm arty or not is, yeah, I mean,
look
they're
at him.
cartoony. There's not too much,
I
you
can't
know,
do cartoons.
accurate and anatomical detail there, you know. It's,
Are you telling me that he is not anatomically correct,
No.
Jane? Really?
I'm pretty sure reindeer don't look much like this. So the first thing to do is just, you know, read through the pattern, make sure you're happy with the way it's doing, and of course you can always refer back to the video and have that, you know, I'm here to guide you along and give you the hints and tips that you need. This is my way of doing bonded applique. Everybody does it slightly differently. There's no right, there's no wrong, whatever works for you. We don't do quilt please here, so, you know.
We don't. And,
you know,
and I think it's unkind when people do.
Yeah, and we also are quite happy for you to adapt things, make them more your own style, embellish things, add your own signature to stuff, change the colours around, whatever you want. You might want to change the colour of Santa's face, you might want to add a darker tone to his face. That's, you know, works with your family, whatever works for you.
Liz says you are very talented, Jane, and everything that you explain clicks with her. So thank you.
That's really kind, thank you.
Julia has crept in late.
Shh.
It's all right.
It's all right, no one
It's all right,
noticed.
yeah.
It's fine.
Auntie Elizabeth's got chocolate biscuits.
Oh, I bet you feel
And
like
Christy
you need a chocolate
loves
biscuit
Christmas
today.
things. I could do. It's just been one of those
You want
days.
to get into
Jane.
Ruben's bed and just have a nap with him.
Not given the smells that he's
No.
been letting off overnight.
No.
Good grief! It was like walking into a proper fug.
Oh,
I was
bless
like,
him.
oh, wow, that's not okay.
Poor boy.
When a Great Dane
Yeah.
goes wrong. I had this before. Remember when Eric
Yeah.
and I had to repaint an entire room. Yeah, I had to redecorate. It was not a pretty situation.
No, I can imagine. And I think they've got quite sensitive digestions, haven't they,
Yeah.
Danes? Yeah. Have to be careful what they eat.
I think he nicked some of the kids' food yesterday. I think that could be a slight situation. But he's never been the most robust.
No, he's a delicate boy, isn't he?
He's just a big baby.
He's just a baby.
He is just a big baby, which is ridiculous.
And he's a Dane of very little brain, I think. But in the most gorgeous way. He's just the most gorgeous boy. I love him.
He is very loving.
So, I've cut my fabric for the cushion front. It's sort of just over half the size of the main wall hanging. The instructions are for the wall hanging, but you can adapt it.
Okay.
Make it bigger if you want to.
Jane, do you
whatever.
happen to know if we have a fat quarter bundle of the Macau Enchanted collection already cut?
Which one's the Enchanted?
It's the celestial green, snow crystal.
I want to say yes, but I don't want to say yes because I don't know if it's that or if it's a half metre. There's something on the half metre heaven shelf.
Of that cut?
Yeah, I think.
Okay. All
I
right.
think. And I don't want
Gemma's
to commit.
loading all the bolt ends as we speak, you see, so I think she's just...
I don't want
she
to
just
commit
wanted
myself, Gemma. Sorry, I don't want to be. What's it called? I don't want to cause perjury upon myself.
Oh, Jane. What a Tuesday.
Somebody held accounts for my to what I said. Well, you said. I'm like,
Yeah, no, and we all saw. Gemma, that's a ring Izzy because she's in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, what I like to do is I like to take my fabric, and you can use a light box, and if you don't have a light box, you can stick your drawing to the window and use that as a light box, a very effective light box. And I just like to trace the basic shape of my applique onto the front of my fabric. Now, I've just used an ordinary pencil here. You can use one of your fabric markers. Don't use your disappearing with heat marker because you're going to iron it and all your markings will disappear.
Oh, yes.
Ask me how I know.
Oh, whoops.
It's very annoying.
Yes.
Like, ah! So, yeah, use a marker that's not going to disappear but one that will wash out or erase. So your water erasable or whatever. But yeah, and your water erasable and your air erasable you need to be careful with because when you apply heat to those they become permanent.
Really?
Again, ask me how I know.
Wow. We've got all the knowledge today.
Yeah, it's just like, be careful is what I'm saying. But I find that an ordinary pencil works just fine.
Just as well, because
Yes.
the others sound fraught with
Yes,
problems.
So what you'll have is you'll just have on your piece of paper that you're going to draw on, you can't see that, but if I turn the white, no, it's not going to work, but you'll see that there's a basic traced shape. I can see it, and that's all it needs. It's very light, and it's just to give me a guide for my placement of my pieces. So this is Bondaweb. It's a paper sheet adhesive, not paper sheet adhesive, a sheet adhesive. There's several different kinds. I like Bondaweb. I choose Bondaweb because it's a bit like your first love, isn't it? It's what I'm used to. It's the one that I've always used previous to all the new ones that we've since discovered since we've been here, which are equally as wonderful.
You see, whereas when I do something, I'm a steamer seam girl,
aren't you?
through and through. Just because for me, I like to do like the florals. I get the Philip Jacob florals and I cut them all up and whack them all down.
And it's lovely because
you can reposition.
It's got that slight tackiness, hasn't it? So you can move it.
Yeah.
And it works equally as well for applique like this because you might think, oh, that eye's not quite in the right place.
Aye.
So, yeah, you'll have your favourite. You get Bondaweb in our kit because I made the kits up and it's my favourite.
It's Jane's party.
It's my party. So you'll
craft
get
she
what you're
wants
given. Yeah, but if you are really actually, I'm sure if you put a note on your order, we'll be happy to change it, would we? Would it affect the price much?
I have absolutely no idea, Jane.
No, I just said that and then I looked at
make
you
that
and thought,
promise.
just change Natasha's pricing schemes.
Maybe.
That's fine.
Maybe not. It's a conversation if you need it.
So on one side it feels quite rough, that's the adhesive side, and on the other side it's smooth and that's the paper side. So when you're tracing your patterns pieces off, you just need to place it down.
Gemma says, shut up, Jane.
Yeah, I will. You know when you start saying something and then you realise you're saying the wrong thing, you're just like, I can't turn round now. This demonstrator is reversing. I put my customer service head on for a minute and I was just like, no, maybe not.
But she did put a laughy smiley face emoji after it.
Bless. So I put it down over my drawings of my templates with the rough side facing down, so the paper side is facing up towards me. And then I will just trace around that shape. Again, I'm just using an ordinary pencil, just tracing around on the line of the template. Now you can write on your paper Bondaweb back. You can write all the information that you need if you find it helpful for you. But just remember that once you've taken, because you're going to remove this, that information will have disappeared. But like you might think, well, actually, I'm going to write brown on here because I know I'm going to take that with the brown. And that information will be there for you when you need to use it. So it's just a case of, and you'll take a bit more time than me, but I'm just doing this quite quickly, just around your shape.
Claire Angelina's just showing. She said, did you draw the Santa and Rudolph? Yes, she did. She's a clever bunny.
I mean, I do look on Pinterest to get inspiration and sort of that way. It's not copied exactly, but it's, you get a
It's an idea. You get
feel.
a feel for the style that you want.
Yeah.
Nikki says she uses the front door as a light box.
Yeah.
She's got one in the attic. But my husband thinks I'm mad with masking tape and muttering. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. We've all
Claire
got
says that she has a formerly external window that leads to the garden room that she uses as her light box.
Yeah.
Oh, hi, Claire.
You'll
Hi,
find
Dawn.
you'll find a nice window that works, gives you good light and gives you a good reflection through. So now I'm going to cut round my Bondaweb, and I'm cutting around the shape. Not quite 1/4 inch because you don't need to be that wasteful with it, but giving a good margin around the shape. I'm going to sneeze, excuse me.
Bless you, Jane.
Sorry about that. Just so that you've got around the shape, and you can be as economic with your drawing. You know, I've got a big piece of Bondaweb there that I don't actually need, and I'm probably, if I was doing it at home, I would reposition the one around so it fitted nearer to the other one, you know, but I'm just doing it quickly here. So the reverse of your fabric, now with your plains, it's very difficult to tell which is the right and the wrong side. One is supposedly rougher than the other, and that's the wrong side. But it's, again, that's hard to tell as well. So your rough side of your Bondaweb, which is your adhesive, you place that onto the wrong side of your fabric. Now with Bondaweb you don't need steam to make it adhere, whereas steamer seam you do.
Yeah, that's another reason that you use it, so that, let's be honest, so that Ruben doesn't get upset.
Yeah, I didn't want to make the poorly boy even more stressed today. So that's adhered to there. You might want to put baking parchment, your Teflon sheet, whatever, over the top to protect your iron.
Yeah.
Whatever suits
Now,
you.
The one that you refuse to use in case it upsets the dog, who's now crying outside because he went out to bark.
Yeah.
Has a Teflon foot on it.
Yeah,
And
which will protect it, won't it?
I didn't realise how good it was. But it's really good, and I
Yeah.
can use it directly onto my velvets without it damaging them.
Which
Brilliant.
is a really handy
Genius.
thing to know as well, isn't it?
Let me find that Ruby Doo. Where is
drink.
that big dog crying?
And so now I'm going to take that and I'm going to use what would be my second best scissors, really, not my best fabric scissors. And I'm going to cut that out on the actual line now. And I think the reason for doing it like this is because when you apply heat to your adhesive sheet, the adhesive is put on the paper in dots. And so when you apply the heat, it spreads those dots out and you know, makes the adhesive fix to the fabric. And so by doing it this way, you've got all of the adhesive spread under your shape and you're trimming it away. So you're trimming through those little dots ultimately, which gives you a better bond when you put it onto your fabric. I think that's the reason for doing it. I don't know the exact science behind it, but I have a feeling that is the reason.
We'll go with that, Jane.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
So we're just cutting these shapes out, and you'll do that with all of your shapes. So just, I've tried to, on the pattern pieces that you will receive, I've tried to put all of the similar colours together. So you'll have, you know, all the noses are together and Father Christmas's hat, body, and all the things that are going to be
And
red.
you beautifully labelled them. I can hear that dog crying. He's the wrong side of the door.
He's somewhere, isn't he?
Yeah, he'd gone off cleaning with Penny.
Oh, bless him.
But he obviously doesn't like cleaning either. What are you doing?
He's got
Come on, the big
himself
dog.
shut out somewhere. He's all right as long as he's with Natasha. He's calm when he's with Natasha.
Look, Jane's nice. She's not using the big iron, so it's safe for you to come in.
You're all right, Rubes. We won't frighten you. So you'll bond and cut out all of your shapes. Now, for the reindeer ears and the eyes, there's quite small pieces. And what I like to do is I like to bond those small pieces together before I actually put them on my actual picture. Just so that's one of the eyes. So these are the two components for the eyes. You've got the actual whites of the eyes and then the pupil, which is black. So to remove my paper, I just use a pin. Now, if you try and like get your nail around the edge and try and flick the paper off, sometimes that works, but generally speaking it doesn't, and it will fray the edge. So the best way of doing it is to just run the pin across the back of the paper until you see that your pin goes underneath and between your fabric and the paper, and it should just lift off. And what you'll see is the adhesive looks a little bit shiny, sort of a matte but shiny. That doesn't make any sense, but you'll be able to see that the adhesive is on the fabric, and it also feels different. And then I'll place that on top of the pupil. Now the paper's still on the back of the whites of my eye part, and then I'll just bond that onto there. So that's all bonded together,
You know,
ready
when you take your paper off,
to
Jane,
remove it. Yes.
you can sort of use it to position. If you've got other bits drawn,
Yes.
you can sort of put it over the top and scurry things around underneath, can't
Yes,
you?
you can. So once I've got all my pieces ready, I'll take my background fabric with my illustration, and I've only just sort of more or less drawn around the shape really, so I've got my position places in. And I think about what's going to be behind, i.e. furthest away, and then build it upwards. So for me, I'm going to put the antlers on first. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring, am I all right to bring the ironing cloth over the top of the cutting board? I am, aren't I? Because it doesn't really transfer the heat through.
Do you know what you've got under there? Yeah, you've
So if I
actually
bring all
got-
of that through.
Yeah.
Because what I like to do is I like to do this on my ironing board at home. I like to put my background fabric on my ironing board and then work on my ironing board so that I'm not transporting things from the table to the ironing board and it all moves again after you've taken the time to position it all in place. So you can just place everything on your picture, making sure that you've got it all where you want it to be in the right places, and you've got all your pieces, because sometimes it's quite easy to sort of lose track of which bit goes where and what does what. So yeah, you see, I haven't got Rudolph's body. Did I bring the brown in with me?
Poor Rudolph.
Poor Rudolph. So let's quickly just copy that, do that bit. That's quite a nice big piece. You know, you do your prep in the morning and you think, yeah, I'm all organised. And then it actually comes to it. And you realise that you're quite an important part missing. So I use my paper scissors just to cut around the shape of on the bonder web. And then, as I say, I don't use my very best fabric scissors when I'm trimming around the edge. I use my sort of second best ones.
There is that hierarchy of scissors.
Yeah, we've all got them, haven't we? We've all got the
Yeah.
ones that we're quite happy to. That's handy, that just fits on there. I was getting a little bit hot under the collar then, wondering whether this scrap was going to be big enough. But it is, and that's fine. So we'll just trim that round. I would just give it a second or two just to cool down before you start cutting it as well. Just gives time for the adhesive to work its magic. I also don't cut with the end of my scissors, I cut more in the middle and move the fabric as I draw the scissors together, rather
that
than
was
snipping
always
with the edge. And I think that comes from
a tip given with paper crafting is to go with a
crafting,
big
yeah.
pair of scissors and move, yeah, like you say, just move your fabric, not your scissors.
So that's his body, so that will sit there, and then the scarf will sit on just overlaps slightly. This can go to the edge because I've allowed the seam allowance into there, so you don't have to worry that you've got to be you know, away from the edge. It can go right on the edge of the background fabric. That's the knot of the scarf, and that bit of the scarf will just tuck underneath there. And we can add the shaping in of the scarf with our embroidery when it comes to it. So as I said, I'm thinking about, you know, how everything goes behind and what bits go on first. So I would put my antlers on first.
Would you, Jane?
Yeah.
When you're getting dressed in the morning.
When I'm getting dressed in the morning, put my antlers on first.
Good.
And again, as I say, just pin underneath scratch it in the middle, and it'll come away. And then you can lift that paper off.
Is this a beginner
carefully.
one?
Yeah, I think so.
Could you do this with your kids?
Yes, I think if you know, if you were like doing the cutting out, that would work. Depends on the age of your children, of course, you know. Now then, this has just decided that the bonding is going to come away from the fabric. And that's probably
if you do that,
because...
does that just mean that you didn't apply enough
Yeah,
heat?
you just needed a bit more heat. And have you got your Teflon? Your pressing cloth down here.
Oh, Jane, I tidied. Sorry.
Never mind. We'll work it out. What I would do is I would just go back and put the bonding cloth over the top and then press it again. But we can go with what we've got at the moment.
Sorry, Jane.
No, it's fine.
I didn't think. Just didn't think.
Shows you what can go wrong. Yeah, that hasn't bonded at all. In fact, I'm going to just redo that. Because we can.
Yes, we can.
No, it's not that one, is it? It's that one, because it's in reverse. Get the right antler.
You should always pick the right antler.
They might look the same, but they're not.
So, you see, I always think it's handy when things go wrong. I know that people get mortified when you do a show and it's like, oh, it went wrong. But that's when you learn. That's
Well,
the
this is
learning
it,
bit.
and it's also good for people to see what to do if it does go wrong. What I would normally do is I would have my pressing cloth or baking parchment or Teflon sheet or whatever, and I would have just put that back over the top and press that down again, just to make the glue warm and make it spread. Excuse me. So we'll go again.
Oh, Jan says like fuzzy felts.
Yes, just like fuzzy felts.
Anne says, oh, I remember them. It's always missing when my mum did the hoovering. I'm going to be honest. For me, the modern day thing for that is Emily's hammer beads.
Oh gosh.
Oh dear Lord.
They get everywhere.
Everywhere. Everywhere.
It's a bit like bits of Lego, isn't it? You'll find bits of Lego. I still find bits of Lego under, you know, on the edge and the skirting and stuff like that. And
It gets everywhere.
they're not even in the house anymore, and it's bits of Lego still. Found some in the garden the other day.
Did you?
Doing some gardening and rooted out some Lego.
Freddie's doing a big Simba out
Oh,
of Lego,
wow.
and he's lost one vital piece.
Oh no.
So he can't put the head on.
Oh.
And I don't know what you do about that. Is there somewhere that you can go to get the bit you're missing?
I think there is. I think probably the Lego website will have the
step, whatever it is.
Yeah, because I know that
Because he did this
if you go into the
before.
Lego shop, you can buy bits and pieces that you might need additional to.
Can you? Because he's got form on this. I've bought him stuff like, you know, because when he's good at it, he'll whiz through.
Yes.
But this is now the second time that he's had an expensive one and he's lost the piece.
Dear.
And then that's it. He loses interest.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I can't cope with that.
Right. Let's see if it's worked this time. Or it become a very quick demonstration. It's like, no, it's not working. Yeah, that's gone beautifully. Now you will find that these pieces become very static, so they'll cling to you.
That's all right.
So you place that piece where you want it to go, and as you can see, there's a little bit extra that will go underneath the actual face part.
It is funny when you see their little deconstructed faces.
Yes. They kind of look a bit eerie as well. It's like, I have been known to just put the eyes on before I do anything else, just because I don't want a blank face.
Could you put wobbly eyes on instead?
Yeah, you could. You could embellish this. Whatever, you know, you can add beads and glitter. And
Could you sew little bells onto his antlers?
absolutely. You could put, you know, we've done the advent calendars, haven't we, where we put the lights behind. You could do that with them.
Oh, round his antlers.
Yeah.
Julia says, my daughter finds stickers everywhere. Dishwasher last week. Yes. Emily had some butterfly stickers. They're like semi-see-through.
Yeah. I bet
All
you
over
find
a
them
window.
everywhere.
All over. Gemma says crystals. Crystals.
Oh, bless her.
You need crystals on this.
Yes.
You could, yeah.
You could put crystals on. Yeah, that's the right way round.
You could have it as like the North Star or some other fine thing. The list of where stickers have been found is ongoing in the cutlery tray.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, stuck everywhere.
Oh, Gemma says that she is actually guilty of giving her the butterfly stickers, but they are window stickers. Well, they are now, Gemma. What makes a window sticker a window sticker?
Yeah.
That's the fact it's stuck
To
to the
the
window.
window.
Yeah.
Not everywhere else.
Oh, I generally find them like stuck on the dog and
Yeah.
all sorts of things. If Reuben isn't decorated on a daily basis. I saw on Facebook or TikTok or somewhere a little girl sat down with nail varnish painting the nails of a chicken the other day.
Oh my
And
god.
I just thought it's only a matter of time.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time before I find one of those chickens, not just sitting on the sofa again. You'll notice the again.
Yeah.
But with Emily, like pampering it with some sort of chicken-based spa day, doing its nails and everything else. This is going to be the thing.
Perfect.
She talks to those chickens. She's as bad as Josh. And they
You
love
tell
her.
them, yeah, you can tell them anything because they're not going to tell anyone else, are they? And they're just. So I'm going to put my scarf there. I'm just going to check the placement. That's the scarf band. I'm just going to put the tail so it goes underneath there. So happy with that there. And then I can adhere that to the body part. And basically you're just working your way on your shape.
I'm just giggling, Jane, because Gabriel says Mel would do a fusion mat that you can iron whole pictures to, then transfer the fabric background as a whole piece. It's great.
Yes.
Yeah, if Jane actually lifted up the
Yeah,
pressing
we've got
mat,
the Teflon pressing mat
it's
underneath. Yeah.
underneath. That exact mat is underneath.
Yeah, you create the whole thing, then take the backing paper off and then just add it on.
Will you be putting antlers on Reuben for Christmas? Yes. Sausage, our little miniature Shetland, is he would normally be the participant for antlers.
Yeah.
So with him being with my little nephew this year, Reuben needs to step up to the antler base plate and
Yeah, I can
take
see
some
him
antlers for the
with,
team.
with antlers on and a scarf.
I think that Reuben would look very fine with a cravat.
He would. He's the sort of dog that needs
Should
a
we
cravat.
make him a brushed cotton cravat
That would
out
be
of
cool.
some of the Tim Holtz?
Yeah, that would be good.
I mean, not to get too ridiculous, but I think he'd really like it. I think he'd look really smart.
Yeah, he would.
Oh, Sue says the youngest of mine loves goats. She was about 8 when we took her to the local agricultural college farmyard, and she sat in the goat pen while the goats lined up to have their beards plaited.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
that's super cute.
Would love to have seen the students' faces next morning. That is a thing. We used to have goats. We used to have little Angora goats.
Oh,
And I used to be able to spin their wool. I knew how to spin and card and everything.
yeah.
It was lovely. Oh, Pat's here, Debbie's here. Hello.
And so we're just going to put the eyes on and then the nose. And then we can talk about, how we're going to finish this off. Just get fiddly at this point. There we go.
I mean, I know that we've got a variety pack of googly eyes that I'm just...
Oh, they look super cute, wouldn't they, with the googly
Wouldn't he
eyes?
look really gorgeous with googly eyes? When I was little, I used to just put googly eyes on rocks, and it used to amuse me for hours, and then varnish them on top.
Oh, cool. Give them
It's
little
amazing how
personalities.
yeah. See, this is in the day before the internet, Jane.
Yes,
How I used to
when we had to amuse ourselves
Yeah, with
and we're allowed to be bored.
googly eyes and rocks.
That's it. I'm happy with the eye
And then I used to put them
placement.
around my wormery. I'm not a normal child. Maybe that is being a normal child.
I think
don't
that
know.
is. They're using your imagination and then finally he'll look more normal when his nose is on.
I think is a bit fabulous. So this could be a cushion. It could be all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Wall
You-
hanging. He
You
could,
could put him on a stocking, couldn't you? You could make your
Yes.
stocking shape and put him in
or a
that.
sack.
Yeah.
Now you see
Sack.
we've got your big drawstring sack,
Yes. Yeah.
and he could just be poking out the bottom of the drawstring pouch.
Yeah,
Sack.
absolutely. You could make a
That'd be
panel,
lovely.
couldn't you, like this, and then sew that onto the sack. So that's your basic of your applique. So it's just a case of just building it up from the back forward, taking your time, getting all your pieces together, and it's quite
Therapeutic.
mindful and therapeutic. It's a nice.
all good.
It's almost like colouring in, really, painting by numbers.
Sue says paint eyebrows on the dog and laugh till bath day. You haven't seen the size of our dog, have you
No.
then? The thought of trying to get Reuben in a bath.
No, that wouldn't be any fun at all. So on mine,
Jane, he's lovely.
he's cute, isn't he? On
Yes.
mine, I have done free motion stitching around each shape, and I've done it in the colour of the background. Let's show you on Father Christmas. So I have, it's a straight stitch, but done with the darning foot on there. And I've
Could
gone
you just,
grey.
if you didn't want to darning foot it, could you just straight stitch it?
Yeah, you could. You'd be
Okay.
turning and moving it a lot. So,
Is that all right? That's all right.
yeah, that's okay.
I have done entire cushion fronts like that, to be
Yeah.
fair. Just because I've forgotten my darning foot or something.
Yeah,
equally
you could
useful.
blanket stitch it. You could zigzag it, satin stitch. Whichever you want to do is fine.
Perfect.
It's your cushion. You can finish it as you like. It's not, we don't do, you must do this.
No.
Make it your own.
Yes.
Enjoy it.
What?
Make it and enjoy.
What?
Because some people get quite, free motion embroidery is not for everyone. It's a bit like free motion quilting. They're not ready yet to do that. They're not at that stage, but
I
they could
have
blanket
had
stitch.
to learn
Yeah.
And I had to do it very quickly for a project that I was finishing off.
Yeah.
And luckily it was quite a busy project, so you couldn't really notice my stitching anyway.
But my stitching's not perfect. It goes over the edge on some places. It's a bit wobbly round here. If it goes very wobbly, do it 2 or 3 times and then it looks like it's meant to be.
That's
like sketchy.
That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's that thing of 3.
And from a distance, nobody can see it anyway, so it's fine. But it just holds it down so that, you know, anybody, because it's very tactile and people will want to stroke it. And you will probably want to wash it at some point. So
Because everyone's touched it. Yes.
Because Bondo Web will hold it, but if once you've washed it, it will maybe come off in places. So you do need to stitch over the top of the when you use adhesive sheeting, because it's not a permanent fix.
Yeah.
Over time it will come off. So yeah, as I say, zigzag, buttonhole, blanket stitch, satin stitch, whatever you feel more comfortable with to finish it off.
Now, Jane, if we're talking Christmas, and we appear to be talking Christmas, and I know that we have certainly started packing them already, our advent calendars.
Yes, there's not many left, is there?
6. That is all we have left.
Yeah.
And they will be being packed. We're going to send them out earlier this year so that Jane doesn't threaten to leave. It got a little bit stressful.
It got a bit fraught, yes.
Yeah, it did. In the middle of funerals and all sorts.
Yes,
it was not our best week.
Yeah.
So yes, we are packing those up.
Yes,
We've already
coming
started
together,
doing
yeah.
that. And so if you would like one of our advent calendars,
Get them now.
and they're not like anybody else's advent calendars.
They're handpicked by Natasha, basically. You get some really interesting, unique gifts. Quite often I'm like, oh, can I have, is there any spare of this? Can I have this? Little gadgets that are really useful.
And I collect them throughout the year.
Yeah. She's very good at finding things, aren't you?
I like doing it. I really like doing it.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's not, I know John Cole Morgan bought one, he's predominantly a quilter, and he was like, but there's other stuff in here. I'm like, yes, John, because other people do other things other than just quilt.
Yeah.
So there'll be tools, there'll be trinkets, there'll be all sorts of useful bits and
little
bobs that you
gadgets
might
and
not
stuff.
use it to begin with, but maybe you'll see one of our projects that you'd be like, oh yeah, no, I've got that now, I can do that thing. And sometimes we put patterns in, we put all sorts in them.
They're
And
really
the
good
value
value for
is-
money. They really are.
Yeah.
I don't think you make any money on your advents, do you, really?
Oh, God, no. Absolutely not. No, it's a little thank you from us to everyone that supports us throughout the year, especially not by the time that you take into account our time to hand wrap them. And this is the thing. So they go into brown paper bags. If you want something that is immaculately, beautifully
Cling
done,
wrapped and,
then get one cheap from China. Ours are lovingly done, and the wrapping can go into landfill. It can be recycled rather than go into landfill. And that's always been the thing. So, but we have got 6 left, and that is it. And we are not, because I've been buying throughout the year to this set number, I'm not extending anymore. That's it.
No,
That
that's
is
fair
it.
enough. That's fair enough. So yeah, I just on my wall hanging, I've bordered it with the blue, and then I've cut squares from the fat quarters of the other 3 Christmassy fabrics and sewn those together as a border.
Jane, with the
Sewed
instructions,
them into strips and then joined them on.
what in the instructions? What is it? Just the applique, or is it?
No, you get the whole instructions for making the wall hanging.
Oh, brilliant.
So I show you how to put the borders on. I give you all the measurements for the cutting for that.
Perfect.
And as I say, you're going to have plenty of fabric left over, so you can make more. You can make matching cushions like we've done there, or you can extend your borders, make more borders, make borders wider.
Nice.
You just have to maths it a little bit.
Maths it.
But you've got plenty of fabric to adapt it and change it around if you want to.
Well, I think they're incredibly charming, Jane. Thank you so much.
And I just used a little bit of my own blusher
Oh, did you? Oh, did you,
to
Jane?
rouge.
Is that the blusher you forgot the other week? Is
Yeah.
that why you forgot it? Because you'd been
Probably, I've been
rouging
using it.
Santa.
Put it on his. And when I've quilted it, I've quilted just around the shape, just around the edge there, nothing extra. But I did just quilt around to make his cheeks more pronounced.
Oh.
So that's what I've done there.
And he does have nice
The
chubby
mouths
little
I did
cheeks.
with stitching as well. I stitched the mouths. I just copied those on. I did them freehand, but using the picture as a reference.
You could always do them with one of our. We do have permanent black
yeah,
marker pens.
you could use a
You
marker
could always
pen.
do that, which I sometimes do on toys if I don't want it to come off.
Yeah, it's a good
So,
idea.
Jane, beautiful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Tomorrow.
You're making something fabulous.
Well, potentially, yes. Now, the only reason that I hesitate at all
Oh, because we might have
is because I
something
know
extra.
that we have an immensely large delivery due, which is due today. However, you and I both know in our last few weeks of expecting deliveries, they have not always arrived
No.
quite on time. So, I don't know what to say about tomorrow. It's a magical mystery tour. We might have all the fabrics in all the world, or we will.
Well, there'll be something wonderful, whatever, because you've always come up with something beautiful.
But what I make sort of depends on what shows up,
Yes. I can understand that.
because it does vary it a little bit. Oh, Jane, it's tricky.
It is.
So tricky.
And you're tired as well, and it might mean that you've got to sew into the night, which won't do you any good at all. You might have to go to bed now.
That's not a bad plan.
Go and have a lie down. Go and have a nana nap now.
Quite heavily caffeinated though to get me through the school run. Yes. I have lots of ideas though,
Yeah.
and I think it'll be good.
It will be good. It'll be good whatever you bring to this show, because it always is.
I started writing it at 2 o'clock this morning, I'm not going to lie.
In between Reuben.
In between Reuben trips outside, yeah. And of course then Minnie has to come too, because then
Yes.
she's been disturbed. So we all traipse out.
Yeah. And I bet Josh never woke once.
Not once.
It's amazing, isn't it? Amazing. They never hear anything. They never notice.
No.
No.
Well, completely oblivious to the whole situation.
Yeah.
Good-o. Righty ho, everybody. Jane, thank you so much for this absolute beaut.
Well, I hope other people enjoy making it, because it's good fun.
Well, it is, absolutely. And I think it's a lovely follow-on from last year's Elf.
Yeah.
And because it's got that beautiful continuity of character style.
Yes.
Oof.
Oof.
There
Lots
it
of
is.
words for a Tuesday.
I've peaked. I have peaked. Right. Jane, thank you ever so much. We're going to go and cut some more fabric now.
Yes.
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 Yes, yes. And we will see you here tomorrow with something fabulous.
Yeah, it's always fabulous.
I will promise you that. I can't promise you what. Take care, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.